Good. Well, thank you for staying on. And we have our subscribers, the numbers are increasing. So this is good. This shows that there are some people who really appreciate this. It's been a few months since we started this journey, and we're growing day by day. And I like this. When we were starting this journey, I wasn't sure even what we were doing. But I'm glad we've reached this far. And as we continue interacting with these episodes and you continue listening to this, it's great. And last time when we talked, we really talked about calling people up versus calling people out. And as I left that, I kept thinking through, for you really to fight for the highest possible good of someone, to call them up, you have to listen to them. You really have to listen to their point of view. You have, and most of us, when you talk about listening, we are like, yeah, I'm a good listener. I listen well. But the question is, really, are you a good listener? Are you a good listener? I know sometimes I listen. Sometimes I have my own assumptions that makes me not listen. Ask my wife. My wife might tell you whether I'm a good listener or not. And each of us, maybe someone else could give a feedback about us, whether we are good listeners or not. But the question I want to ask you is, are you a good listener? Because it's only when you listen well that you're able to help others. You're able to be a liberator in the lives of others. You're able to call people up when you listen to them. And we have this tool we call active listening audit. Now, this is for you to just check yourself. Check yourself. And there are 5 questions to ask yourself. There are 5 questions here for you to ask yourself. Listening is so key. And some of us really struggle with that. Some of us get into trouble because we don't listen. So recently, I was in the village. I'd gone to start up some project I'm trying to build. And maybe if you remember listening to our episodes from the beginning, I mentioned about building. So that project is ongoing. So I was leaving and then I passed by someone's shop and I mentioned to him what I was doing. And the guy was very quick to start advising me. And I'm like, did you even listen to what I said? Who are you to even think you can advise me? And as we're leaving that shop with my wife, we're like, how many times do we give unsolicited advice? How many times someone just can say, hey guys, I'm doing this, and boop, advice hard. And we're advising them, oh, you need to do this, you need to stop, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. But we don't really listen to people. And then we get ourselves into trouble. Relationships get sour. People get hurt, wounded, because you didn't listen. So listening is such a very, very important thing. And for you as a leader, as a spouse, as a child, as a parent, as whoever it is, you need to be a good listener. Active listening. So we have this active listening audit. And this is just for you to, even as you're thinking of, okay, I need to fight for the highest possible good in the lives of everybody that I'm leading, in the lives of everybody in my family, in the lives of my siblings, in the lives of everybody that I interact with, which is love. And I believe everybody wants people to listen to them. Remember, there's a friend of mine I had. I would go to him with an issue. And I start saying, even me. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the situation is about him, not about me. And there's a tool we'll look at later that talks about that. All of a sudden, he's telling me, and I'm like, you didn't listen to me. You didn't listen. Because this was about my situation, not about your situation. It was about my situation. And so you needed to listen to me. Let me talk about what I'm going through. And then maybe, because I'm the one who came with an issue, maybe again, if you want us also to talk about your issue, maybe we can. We can, or maybe we can make another appointment another time. But don't cut me short, and I've not even finished explaining what I'm saying. And there you go, you turn tables, and it's now like a boomerang effect. It's all about you. It's going back to you, and we'll look at that later on. So active listening audit, question number 1. How good am I at taking the time to truly understand? How good are you at taking the time to truly understand? One of the habits of Steve Covey talks about seek first to understand, then be understood. And this is the greatest principle in life, to understand other people's point of view before you want people to understand your own point of view. But take time to truly understand. So in a scale of 1 to 10, give yourself a number. A 5, a 7, a 3. What's your number there? The second question, how good am I at asking open-ended questions to draw out what others are really trying to say? Okay, tell me more about what you just said. Could you kindly just explain to me how that happened? What does that really mean to you? You're asking open-ended questions to dig up, to probe, to really be able to pull out whatever this person is trying to say. Because of course, as you know it, some people maybe they might lack words to express themselves. So if you do not ask questions, you might jump into conclusion, but really they have not really told you the whole story. And so you might not help them really address their issue. You might not really fight for their highest possible good. And so you need to then ask open-ended questions. Different from closed-ended questions. Closed questions are more like yes or no answer. Are you coming today? Yes. Did you eat the food? Yes or no. Do you like this? No. Now, there's a way you can use those closed questions to maybe you've probed, and now you want to tie, okay, kindly help me know if I've understood you. You say this, is that correct? Okay. Would you want us now to move forward with this conversation? They'll tell you, yes, let's move forward. That's a closed question. An open-ended question is you're still probing. Third question, how good am I at being able to summarize that what I think I've heard from someone to check if I've gotten it right? Can you summarize what someone has said and say, listening to you, I've heard you say this. Am I correct? Don't repeat everything they said, because again, you might, no. You don't be under pressure that you have to get word by word so that you can repeat everything they say. But if you can just summarize, what I heard you say is that you really don't want to go back home. Yes, that's what I said. Okay. And the reason why you don't want to go back home is because you're scared you might be punished for the mistake you did 20 years ago. Not really 20 years ago, but, okay, sorry, I missed that. You mistake you did 10 years ago. Yes. Okay. Summarize it. That way someone feels affirmed, like, this guy is listening to me. And that is so powerful. I think the best thing you can experience is like, this guy is listening. When you realize someone is not listening to you, it's very discouraging and very frustrating. Fourth question, how good am I at using body language to communicate interest and attentiveness in a conversation? Body language. Body language is very powerful. When someone is not interested in what you're telling them, you can tell on their face. They're blank, they're like, and you see the expressions, they're fidgeting, they are touching things, they're looking away, whatever that is. Now, cultures might vary. There are cultures that when someone, like when someone wants to know that they are really listening to you, you look them eye to eye. There are some cultures where looking someone eye to eye might not be appropriate. So you need also to understand that. But body language is very powerful. You can't be touching your phone, fidgeting, doing all these crazy things and thinking someone, you are shaking your body and someone is like, are you okay? Body language is very key. And lastly, how good am I at resisting the temptation to jump in and assume I know what the other person is talking about? How many times have you jumped into conclusion thinking you know what they're talking about? I know what you're saying, man. And they're like, no, you do not know what I'm saying. Jumping into, how can you resist that temptation to jump into, assume that I know what you're talking about? Again, in each of these areas, give yourself a score For question 1, question 2, question 3, 4, 5, 6, as you can see them, give yourself a score 1 to 10, and then add them up and divide by 5, and that's your audit. That's your number. And then look at each of those and say, okay, which one do I need to grow in? Maybe I need to control my body language. I've been told that sometimes by people that my body language betrays me a lot. So I need to be aware of that when I'm having a conversation with people. Maybe you're the one who jumps into conclusions. You jump in to assume that you understand what someone is talking about. Maybe you are the one who asks just closed questions, then learn. Google up. What are some open-ended questions I can ask someone in a conversation? Google. And Google might give you the answers that you're looking for. So, take this active listening audit. Take it as a family. Take it as a team. Take it as an organization. Take it. It's a simple one. Nothing scientific. Just give yourself a score 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, and then see what area you want to grow in. And let's walk a journey of you becoming a good listener, becoming a better listener. Let's walk that journey together so that you can become a good listener to your children, to your spouse, to your team members, to your family members, to everybody who comes to you. Because that's the highest expression of love. If you can listen to people. Thank you very much. Go ahead and follow us and subscribe for more of such. Thank you.